What is up, brothers and sisters? GL Jake is back with another video. How you doing today? Hopefully better than me, because I hate Just Cause 4 with a passion, and we're gonna start with a story. The year was 2010. A child had been playing the game Just Cause 2 for weeks on end. He could not get enough of blowing stuff up, driving cars down mountains, and hijacking helicopters. This kid's favorite game up until this point was Mercenaries 2: World in Flames, and Just Cause 2 is basically that game, but better. This young lad knew this game was going to be one of his favorites for a long time. This kid also knew that this game was well overdue to be back to the local Blockbuster, and he did not tell his mother, obviously. About 3 months go by, he's trying to rent himself another game, and this is when he found out that there was going to be a huge overdue balance, and he figured out what late fees are. If you have not put the pieces together yet, this legendary child, one that's actually akin to the Christ himself, was me. And after some persuasion, me and my mom were able to purchase the game from Blockbuster outright, and we kept the game, and I had my favorite game, Just Cause 2. And Just Cause remained one of my favorite game franchises for a better part of a decade, right up until the end of 2018, when one of the most brutally disappointing games ever made was released, Just Cause 4. Just Cause 4 actually, ruined me for a while. I was so hyped for this game. Just Cause 2 and 3 were some of my favorite games ever. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite game franchises. And then this steaming pile of ass called Just Cause 4 came out. I hate this game for what it did to me. I was actually seriously depressed when this game launched. Just Cause has always been about having stupid amounts of fun blowing stuff up, and then they released this absolute garbage pile of a game that basically does everything it can to stop you from having fun. I don't get it. And once I could admit to myself that this game was trash, I put it down and uninstalled, and I couldn't bring myself to play it for 5 years. That is until a couple days ago I played Redfall, and that game reminded me that it can, in fact, be worse. Yo, Jeff Bezos! Yo, Amazon Prime! You know what I'm saying? Give me that same day shipping, bruh! So I decided to give it another chance. And yet, to nobody's surprise, this game is still trash. And the thing that sucks the most about it is unquestionably the game's missions. The majority of the missions in this game are escort missions. That's right. Escort missions. The worst kind of mission in any video game. This game's got them all. It's got every escort mission you could ever ask for. It is fucking brutal. Whether you're breaking people out of prison and escorting them through their escape, or guarding a satellite dish with an AA gun like it's some type of modern day duck hunt, these missions are trash. Now, not all of the missions in this game are escort missions, but the ones that aren't are still dog nuts. Like, there's this mission where you need to stay near the black box of this blimp. Sounds simple enough, but there's no aircraft in the area for you to get up to this blimp and chase it, so what do? Well, there's fortunately a balloon dispenser coming out of the ground, and there's all these balloons launching up towards the blimp, and you gotta grapple your way up there. It's the dumbest shit imaginable. Why are the balloons here? Who thought up this idea? Why isn't there just a helicopter or something? I don't know. Fortunately, I was able to get heat and just hijack a helicopter, but this whole concept was just ridiculous. And then they've got this other mission where you arrive at a specific location, and then they're like, "Oh no, Rico, there's like 100 cars here, and they're all rigged to explode. You need to drive at least 10 of them into the water before the whole base blows up." What? This shit is dumbfounding. It's so stupid. The driving mechanics in this game are ass. Huge ass, smelly ass. So there's nothing fun about this at all. I don't know who thought this was gonna be good. And to make matters worse, when you bail out of cars in this game to send them into the water, they'll just explode if they graze a blade of grass. So you can't just bail out of them as they go towards the water, because they'll just blow up for no reason. Like, they have these ramps that literally go into the water, and if you bail as the car is going onto the ramp, it just explodes, and you don't get credit for that. I don't understand what's going on here. Even worse than that is this mission type. That's, by the way, the most repetitive mission in the game, is going to a base, finding breakers to flip to turn something off, and then hacking into a computer. You need to do this over and over and over and over again in this game. It's ridiculous. And I don't understand why you need to find the breakers. Like, just tell me where they are. This isn't a fucking puzzle game. So you're just running around trying to find these breaker switches, and this gets stale right away. I absolutely hate doing this to the degree that it actually made me turn the game off a couple times. It takes time to find all these breaker boxes, and in the meantime you need to kill all these enemies using this game's absolutely atrocious gunplay. It's like, folks, this isn't fun. Did you not test this? I don't get it. Imagine if instead, like in every other Just Cause game, you're just blowing up a base with a bomber or a helicopter or whatever you want to do. Instead, that would be way more fun. But no, I'm playing hide and seek with breaker boxes. And no, we're not done quite yet. If all of that wasn't bad enough, I got a two-parter dog shit ass mission to talk about next. First up, you need to find and destroy 6 generators. The destroy part doesn't bother me for the most part, but it's the find part. The find part that gets me, just like I was talking about. Why can't you just tell me where they are? Why do I need to hunt around for these totally nondescript generators just to get there and use my grapple hook to rip them apart? Why are the generators dark green? Why aren't they bright red like every other fucking destructible in this entire game? And most importantly, how does this relate to the core gameplay loop that Just Cause is supposed to be known for? It doesn't, and this trash is dog shit because of it. It really makes me think that the folks behind these ideas have literally never played a video game before in their entire fucking life. Like, these mission types are straight out of games from nearly 2 decades before this one released. Go here and blow this up. Go here and press a button. Go here and defend this guy until this guy shows up. There are some missions in this game where it's literally go here and watch a cutscene. How is this fun? Who thought this was fun? But okay, you destroy all the generators. Not so bad. At least it's not an escort mission, right? Ha! Got him! Baited! Trolled! Now you need to go pick up this hacker from a garage who you're gonna drive around because he's too fucking lazy to get up off his ass and walk somewhere so he can hack into the mainframe. And of course, the whole time you need to make sure he doesn't die. Okay, I have 2 glaring issues with this mission type. First off, Just Cause is not a game that is fun when you're stationary. You're supposed to be flying around, blowing stuff up. Not standing in one spot, just shooting at guys. This game series has always had very lackluster gunplay, but it was easy to forget about when you're flying around, constantly just having a blast, blowing up buildings. Escort missions, by their very nature, require you to basically just stand around, or at best run around, but you're certainly not doing any flying. I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail soon, but Just Cause 4's gunplay and movement feels noticeably worse than it did in Just Cause 3, so this mission type runs stale right out of the gate. Second, and more importantly, Just Cause 3 and Just Cause 2 had an absolutely incredible gameplay loop already. It did not need to be changed, and not only did they change it, they completely threw it out of the fucking window. I don't get this. Just Cause is a sandbox game. You're supposed to be able to do whatever you want, and Avalanche understood this for the 3rd game, and capturing areas of the map was done by going into enemy bases and blowing everything up however you wanted to. And this was really fun. This was super fun. I absolutely love doing this still to this day, long after having completed the game and taken over the entire map. I still find this gameplay loop engaging and rewarding, so straying from this objective type, in my view, ruined Just Cause 4. The missions in this game are incredibly limiting. They're very restrictive, and what you're restricted to do isn't fun. And I just don't get it. Like I said, they took an absolutely awesome gameplay loop, one that gave players freedom to choose to do whatever they wanted, and replaced that with the most dog shit possible missions they could think of. Who has ever played through a defend this point or a help these people escape and make sure they don't die mission in any video game and liked it? Nobody! Those are always, without almost any exception at all, the most unfun, terrible levels in every single video game. Like, would you rather blow up a base in any order and in any way that you want to, or would you rather show up, press some buttons, let out some prisoners, and escort them to the exit? The answer is obvious, and it is a joke that they went with anything else for this game. Okay, one last thing to talk about on this, and that is the final 2 missions of the game. You can skip to the next chapter of the video if you want to avoid spoilers for some reason, but I'm going to talk about it here. Okay, so the second to last mission in this game is called Operation Sandstorm. And the first half of this mission, you're just tasked with controlling this huge gun on a train to destroy stuff. This is fine, I guess, whatever. I don't really care. It's the second part that gets me. So in the second part, a huge sandstorm rolls in once you reach your destination. You can't see anything. You can't fly around, which is the most fun thing to do in the game, by the way. You can't walk without going slow as hell. And the game is like, oh, you can't see, you can't move. Well, how about this? Follow the lights and find cooling systems to destroy. What fucking lights? There are no goddamn lights. You need to navigate this absolutely massive base, walking slow as shit, following non-existent lights to blow up some stupid ass cooling system. I had to Google this one, and fortunately someone on Reddit posted a nice map for me to use to find my way around, but Jesus Christ almighty, this mission was perhaps the least fun thing I have ever done in any video game. And the final mission, while not quite as brutal as that one, still sucked huge ass. At one point, it tasks you with finding generators to destroy to get a door open. We talked about this already. You have to do this a million times in this game. It's very boring, it's very repetitive, and I hate that they make you do this, but you would think that this objective would be pretty easy and straightforward. If you think that, you would be wrong. I was wrong, that's for sure. I spent like 10-15 minutes looking for these stupid generators before once again resorting to Google to get this figured out. Turns out they stuck these dumbass generators behind garage doors. This is the only time in the entire fucking game that they do this, and they save it right until the very end of the game when everything's reaching its climax. You might be just barely interested in what's going on, and they're like, hey, here's a dog shit objective for you to get figured out. Have fun, guys! What is going on here? They give you no hints, no clues, no direction. There's nothing to tell you, hey, you gotta find a terminal first to open the garage door before you find the generators. They don't give you that. They're just like, yep, find the generators, you'll figure it out. Not without Google, I won't, apparently. Like I said before, this isn't a puzzle game. That isn't what's fun about Just Cause. I don't understand why Avalanche doesn't understand that for this game. I don't get it. These 2 last missions spoiled any small fraction of positivity that I was feeling about this game. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the very second I finished this game, as soon as I saw it come up with executive producer Jeff, Alt F4, goodbye, see you later, uninstalled. I hate this game. Okay, so as we've established, the objective types in this game feel like they were pulled straight from a video game from 2 decades ago. And unfortunately, so do the graphics, which is perhaps the second most frustrating thing about this game. Maybe it doesn't look like it's 20 years old, but this game does almost always look terrible. Seriously, it looks like a grainy, washed out mess, and I just don't get it. That's a theme. I don't get it. Just Cause 3 looked great. It captured this Mediterranean vibe. Everything had this cool glow, and it just looked awesome, especially for 2015. I don't understand how Just Cause 3 looks like a sequel to Just Cause 4. But it does. Look at this cutscene from 4. It looks like it's from a PS2 game. And look at this texture on this door. And don't tell me it doesn't look like it was pulled straight out of Halo Combat Evolved. You're flying in the clouds, looking at the city from a distance. Wow, how nice. But for the most part, it just looks bad. I'm sorry, it looks terrible. For 2018, like, are you kidding me? It's important to note that all of that I'm mentioning is relevant after the game was updated to include better textures and lighting. The game actually looked worse than this when it first came out, but even with the update, it looks way worse than it should. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out in the same year as this game, and look at the difference. This is completely inexcusable to the point that I actually think it's kind of funny. Remember that this is published by Square Enix. This isn't some small-time studio. This is Square Enix we're talking about here. Ultimately, I just think this is a shame. You know, the open world for this game has so much potential to look really good. It's the most diverse Just Cause map yet. It basically has every imaginable biome in this map. Big snowy mountains, the desert, the rainforest. It's all here. It's not detailed or, you know, vibrant like something like Grand Theft Auto would be, but it still could have been way better than what we ended up with because these graphics are so bad. Speaking of being bad, I'm gonna touch on the story for a second. Just Cause has always had really goofy, kind of stupid stories, but this one takes the cake by far. You're fighting against a crazy weather-controlling dictator. He controls the weather, like he has these weird devices that you need to power down, like a lightning generator and a remote control tornado. It's really dumb, like it's just so stupid. More stupid than Just Cause usually is. There's a part of the game where you literally dive down the eye of a tornado. Like, what? Like, it's just insane. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said, the cutscenes in this game look awful. Like, it looks like it came straight out of a fucking cereal box. And it just makes this game's already absurd story even more unpalatable. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but it's just like, stick to the regular overthrowing a dictator narrative and ditch all this crazy weather stuff. It's too much crap in an already shit-filled game. And to make everything even worse, this game performs about as well as I did in 7th grade track and field. And my fat ass stayed at home playing video games. In fact, I was probably playing and enjoying Just Cause 2, if I had to guess. But seriously, what the fuck is going on with this game's performance? It is unbelievably bad. It plays basically the same way that Jedi Survivor plays for me. And Jedi Survivor is a brand new game that looks great. This game is dusty as hell and it looks like ass. What's the deal? I don't understand why there are so many games coming out that look trash and also run like trash. If your game looks bad, it can't lag. It shouldn't lag at all. I shouldn't lose a single goddamn frame in a game like this that came straight from the Kellogg's factory. And the horrible performance exacerbates one of the biggest issues with this game, and that's the way Rico feels to move around. This man walks around like he's strapped with a full diaper. I'm serious, get this man some new Huggies ASAP because he shit himself. So you're running around constantly dropping frames while controlling somebody who walks around with the agility of a toddler with a poopy diaper. Does that sound fun to you? Probably not. This is Just Cause we're talking about. Getting around is supposed to be what this game is good at. I was always getting grapples in the wrong spot, and even when I get them in the right spot, I'm still crashing into whatever it is I'm grappling onto, and I'm not getting my parachute or wingsuit off. And I don't know if this is because I'm trash or if the game's trash. It might be a bit of both. Either way, when you're stuck dropping frames, legging around 10 FPS head ass, you can't do anything right. It's just trash, no matter what. And I think above all else, I'm just confused how any of this happened. All they needed to do was copy and paste Just Cause 3 with a new map, maybe a few tweaks here and there, and they would have had a great game on their hands. But instead we got this, and I just don't get it. Now, I'll admit that gunplay has never really been a strong suit of the Just Cause franchise, so I don't want to give this game too many demerit points for this. But I still think it's worth mentioning, because yeah, the gunplay is just awful in this game. It's made worse by the constant performance issues, but even without that, it would still be mega ass. Aiming your guns feels floaty and non-responsive, and the game has a ridiculous amount of auto-aim that makes everything feel completely unrewarding. Instead of changing the core gameplay loop that made the previous game so fun, they should have made the gunplay better. They put all their resources into making the gunplay better, and you would have got this awesome game, I'm sure of it. Instead, I would argue that they made it worse. For God's sake, they removed dual wielding from this game. What is the thought process here? It's just brainless toying around with important mechanics from a dev team that clearly has no idea what makes their game fun. And speaking of weapons, why in God's green earth did they remove C4 from this game? What? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Let's think this one through, because they clearly did not. Just Cause is a series that's all about blowing stuff up. Blowing stuff up and causing chaos. That's what this game is known for. So who in their right mind at Avalanche thought, okay, we've got this great game about blowing stuff up. How can we make it more fun? Oh, I got it. Let's remove the number one thing people use to blow stuff up. Huh? What? The only explanation for jackassery like this is that someone at Avalanche is intentionally sabotaging this product. I'm serious. Someone had to be actively trying to introduce things to this game that would make it less fun. It's the only thing that can explain all of the missteps that this game took. It is too insane to believe anyone actually thought that this garbage would be fun. Despite this game being an immeasurably bad follow-up to the previous games, it can still provide you with a little bit of fun. It's Just Cause after all, and I don't really think anything could get in the way of there being fun in a game like this. Rico Rodriguez is basically like the love child of Superman and Rambo. It's just an awesome concept for a game, so even with all the many missteps that this game made, there's still some fun to be had with the core gameplay. The problem with that is that despite this, I would still have a hard time recommending this game to just about anyone. You can play the far superior Just Cause 2 or Just Cause 3 and get everything that this game has, but way better. Just Cause 3 even looks better than this one, so it's not even like it feels newer. If you've already played Just Cause 2 and 3 and you're looking for a new experience, I would probably just stick to playing other games until Just Cause 5 comes out, or just go back and play one of the previous titles, because I promise you'll have more fun there. I just found myself running into too much frustration playing this game to recommend it. Whether it was the horrendous performance, the terrible visuals, or the dog shit gameplay found in this game's missions, there's just way too much unfun that outweighs the fun. So playing through this game again was just as disappointing as the first time I played it. The game lacks depth, performs badly, and puts way too much focus on things that feel like they're deliberately taking you out of the fun. I can only hope that Just Cause 5 will learn from the mistakes this game made, and I'll still be here to play it if it ever does come out. But for now, only the absolute most die-hard fans should even consider playing Just Cause 4, and even then, I don't really think it's worth it.